With the current total capacity of 400 megawatts generated in data centers across Africa due to limiting factors such as inadequate distribution of power supply, regulatory issues, inadequate fiber infrastructure, amongst others, experts in the digital economy are targeting a 2,500 megawatts data center capacity in order to bridge the connectivity gap across the continent. Stakeholders and data center operators converse on how critical the availability of constant power supply is to optimal connectivity in Africa, while revealing the set target of 2,500 megawatts data center capacity during the Hyperscalers Convergence Africa Conference 2024, themed Power of Convergence, which took place in Lagos.
Now, everybody knows what the showstoppers are. The non-availability of grid power, poor transport logistics infrastructure. But then again, those things are, as you said, kind of balanced out by the fact that we also have poor port infrastructure.
What the government needs to do is create an enabling environment for us. Now, we have power companies who are ready to invest and they are ready to provide power, but also transmission and distribution is a problem. And so what the government needs to do is create more industrial parks or technology parks, our own version of the Silicon Valley, where we can have the major power producers, the companies coming and power the place. In that situation, you can have 4 or 5 power manufacturers or producers coming together and provide us, and I'm sure we're able to get the capacity.
Because we have the sun, we are along the equator, we can actually generate a lot of power from solar. The question is, solar is not a quick win. Solar itself is not enough because solar can only generate when you have the sun. Now, in the night, what happens? Then data center is supposed to run 24 hours. So what happens, in the night? So there has to be a backup. So when you're looking at solar power, you also have to look about, and when you look at those things today, data center, we're talking about 25 megawatt, 2 point something megawatt, 250 megawatt, and all those stuff. That's very, very high capacity.
We need alternatives. What can we do on solar? What can we do? You go down north, the sun or the weather conditions about 45 degrees. How do we put that into use to generate power to power these data centers? What about the gas? We have gas in Nigeria. How can we create private power companies so that we can site them close to these data centers in addition to the core fiber infrastructure, which we haven't really talked about, that needs to be interconnected into this facility to drive it.
Experts also highlighted key steps the government should take so as to ensure collaboration with private sectors to further facilitate the targeted 2,500 megawatt data center capacity for optimal connectivity across Africa.
Connectivity, it's a very big thing when it comes to digital infrastructure. Because without connectivity, even if you have a data center that is on 24/7, without connectivity, you can't really do anything. So connectivity is at the backbone of data center and digital infrastructure. What government should do, I think there has been a step in the right direction recently, where the federal government listed fiber optic and data center, things like this, as part of critical national infrastructure. I have always been, in the last 8 years, I've been one of the proponents of that particular thing that the government have just done, that some of this infrastructure should be classified as digital infrastructure, national asset, whereby people cannot just go and cut fiber. So that's one step. The second step is for state governments, for instance, or maybe federal government, to postulate that right of way should be free. If right of way today is abolished and there is a standard specification, just I think NCC has, then people can come in to come and invest, not only in data center, but in fiber infrastructure and lay fiber from here to Kaduna to everywhere. Government is also doing something like that. I know NCC is trying to do something like that, but there has to be complementary effort, government and private sector to be able to collaborate and, speed up those things.
There's still more work that we need to do. So I think that collaboration between the government, private sector and investor is very important. If you think of the targets we set for ourselves, especially if you look at penetration rate target, we set 70% based on the broadband plan that was done for Nigeria, but now we're at 55%. So it tells you there's still about 15% to achieve. So it means we need to build more fibers. We need government to collaborate with the private sector to make it easy for us to acquire right of way, and then the ease of doing business and also the capital investment required to build this massive infrastructure. So I think the private sector are doing the work, what needs to happen, and we just need more government support. And I think the government is also supporting, but we all need to keep at it and keep working and see how we drive the growth from where we are.
One of my first recommendations for government is for the cycle of decision in terms of what to use to not be so long, because the longer we take to take a decision, more open we are to fail. So have a quicker system where decisions are made, where solutions are adopted. It will be very, very helpful for private business. There's a lot of private business that runs a way of working with the government exactly because of the entire cycle of how the solution will be bought and then implemented. And secondly, the way of selecting the private companies that they will be working with. To have a platform for bids where companies can bid for a specific, like a general platform, not per ministry. Something fully transparent where proposals can be loaded and selected also in a very transparent way.
Africa, which is 18% of the world population, accounts for less than 1% of the world's 40 gigawatts data center capacity, which is a huge challenge among numerous highlighted limitations. But with a strategic collaboration between government and the private sector, the challenges could be mitigated.
For more on well-researched and balanced stories, events and interviews across business, tech innovation and lifestyle, please like, share and subscribe to this channel, www.youtube.com/Digivation Network.